Hey dudes, we are inside the castle walls of my kingdom on Infinite Heights, and today we're going to be working on part 1 of my Iron Golem Priory. It's coming up right now. Oh yeah, check it out. We're just going to do a quick flyby. Pretty sweet, huh? There is Castle Valor, and here is my Iron Golem farm where we are going to be installing the priory, just so you guys kind of can get a sense for where we are. You guys are going to love this build. It is going to be epic. Let's get after it. Okay, so hello, how you doing? How you guys doing? Welcome to this Let's Build. We are working on a priory, which is it's basically like a, I guess, a priory we could call it like a monastery type of thing. It's where generally monks and or nuns or those types of kind of religious devotees live, and they usually take vows. Anyway, a priory is just a building, a big dormitory where they would work. And what I want to do is, we'll get to exactly what this is in a second. What I want to do is build a tower type thing that will hide these boxy square Iron Golem farm spawning pads. Now we are gonna have to do some work and do some thinking and some figuring out, which I did over here, and it was a lot more of a complicated process than what building my the rest of the medieval builds in my town usually are. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to have this be kind of maybe a little bit of a different episode and bring you guys into my brain to show you guys how I laid it out. So this is what my original sketch for the floor plan of this thing looks like. Does it make any sense like this? No, because it makes sense to me in my brain, and this is how I laid it out, but it may not make sense to you. So let me explain exactly what I did over here by showing you this exploded version of it. So what I have here on this level is a cross section, a slice of the outline of one of the Iron Golem farms. Can you see the shape? If we float above it, you can see it's this plus shape. Goes in this way, and then also like this. You see what I'm saying here? And then there's bloop, bloop, those little bump outs, right? So that's what this is. I just recreated that, so we had the footprint. Now these are also an even number of blocks, and I want to make this odd. So I had a circle. I had the floor plan that I wanted for the shape of the finished product, which you'll see in a second. It'll make more sense once we actually get into the actual Let's Build and we do the time lapse. But I then went with a circle that that had points, that was large enough. It had points where the center would be in the center of the column. So it's basically a tower. It's a ring of towers, and you can see the shadow here. It's a ring of towers that form a larger tower, and that's the idea. So I just basically did with the purple wool, I made an outline of the inner tower, of the main tower or the whole tower, and then I used that as a guide to evenly space where the smaller towers would go. Bloop, 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 and you can see them here. So this marks the center of the circle above. Okay, so then in lime green wool you can see the outline of the basic footprint of the rest of the towers, the actual smaller towers that will make up the larger tower. And then here, these are hugely important. These need to be transparent blocks. And what these are the air spaces that are above the doors. And if the doors are blocked, then it's going to screw up the whole thing. So we can't do that. So these need to be open. So we're going to need to build this whole contraption, this whole monster thing, and keep those transparent blocks so that it'll actually keep spawning. So does that breakdown make sense? Does that make sense? I think it should. And then once we get to building there, it'll make way more sense. So so this is basically the floor plan, the idea that I was working with. You can see it in the exploded version over here. So I'm just gonna take a second, superimpose this. I'm going to rebuild this over here. Got my wool on me, ready to rock and roll. And I'm going to superimpose it over here, and then we will get rocking. Hi, buddy. So, all I did was take this design. You can see it's nighttime now. It took me a minute, but I took the outline of this green design. Okay. Took the outline of the green design, superimposed with the purple design, which gives us this shape. And I centered the center of this. Okay, is above this torch where this purple wool is here, and that is preventing my iron golem rough from getting turned into iron golem dust. So basically, we are now going to, I'm just going to, you know, walk around the ground, look up as I'm going, and, you know, follow this outline. Should be a piece of cake. Should be a piece of cake. And that's basically how I came up with a complex shape, ensured it was symmetrical, and then transferred it to the build style and the build to kind of you know, really fulfill the purpose of hiding this. So I know this is starting out a little bit differently than the average Let's Build that I do, but I thought this was kind of an important point to kind of let you guys in a little bit on how I was figuring out how to do this. So let's get to building. Okay, so you can see we have the green outline of the diagram in place. Our sad, stranded iron golem hanging out there. I'm just kind of, you know, looking up, checking out the green outline, and building where I see. Doing my 2x2 wall building up thing. Honestly, for me, this is the hardest part. I mean, at the end, especially if you're building a huge wall, this 2x2 stacking process as you go up is what ends up making the bulk surface of a wall or a structure like this. But for me, this is the most boring part. In the end, that adds, you know, to the size of the build, which I guess adds to the impact of the build. So when people see that, they're like, "Holy cow, that's incredible!" But it's just, you know, if you think about it, you're just walking along. You're just, you know, tracing an outline that you already have built. It's mindless and it's boring. So after I finished, you know, making the outline, I tore down the green outline, fell, and I'm just going up and up and up, and I want to go high enough to make sure that there's room for a half slab floor, and also for the iron golems to spawn in the top half. So we're just kind of keep building it up. We have the rings here for just to outline where the towers are. So what I did was I ended up leaving these rings in the floor to make it look like the towers went all the way down through as you're walking along the top, and it also helps me to outline where the inner single tower will actually start. So just kind of finishing up those little rings, falling down, and now we're just throwing in the half slab spruce floor. Just spruce half slabs, no big deal. I like the contrast of this, you know, this darker wood with the lighter materials. And just throwing up some torches so we can see what we're working on. I I had to do some fudging around here, some fiddling around, and it's cool because sometimes you have to do that. But I started making the outline. You can see there I'm just carving arches in, sketching arches in for where you can actually come up from the central tower to the tops of the outer towers, and I filled this whole thing in. But when I went to break through when I went to break through the floor for the area above the doors to make sure that spawning of the iron golems wasn't interrupted, it was actually taking out huge chunks of these columns, so I had to rework a little bit and figure out exactly where they were going to be and how I could make the whole thing still work. So I came up with I think a pretty solid way around it. So I actually created you can see I cut through the floor where the wood was. I replaced with brown glass, and where the iron blocks were from the original outlines, I replaced with white stained glass, and that allows for those count as transparent blocks so that the spawning is uninterrupted. And I actually just kind of came in 2 blocks from that and built another smaller ring, so that I came in 2 blocks so that I could have a 1 block lip around. And then for these outer parts, at the I guess north, south, east, and west point, I built an outer set of columns, an outer arch. Let's call it an outer arch. I built this outer archway, and then I connect them later with some roofs that kind of stick off. So it wasn't exactly what my original plan was, but saw what needed to be done. I still wanted to keep that implied roundness to the shape at the top, so that's what we did. Here's a good shot of one coming up. And now we are laying in the beams that will support the roof, and we're doing spruce. Again, I like the dark contrast. I dropped in real quick there just to see what I was thinking about some pillars. And I didn't want to have one right in the middle, so we dropped some spaced out along the outer edges. And this took some more fiddling, because those actually ended up blocking some of the doors, or some of the transparent blocks that the doors needed. So they need clear line of sight up to the sky. So can't have anything blocking them, which pretty much everything here does. So the beam in the middle doesn't, but that one that I just got rid of does. This is when I figured out that that's what was happening. I was screaming. And then I just started, hey, that's not going to work, so that's not going to work either, so let's just cut it off here. Gotta make the adjustment, man. It's all good. We started with a solid plan. Because we had a solid plan, making adjustments later, I think, was much easier. So another good reason for starting with a solid plan. So these are actually in the space between the blocks, or between the doors. These roofs are narrow enough, so it will work. And here we are, just kind of starting to flesh out the roof itself. Now I wanted in architecture and art history, whichever part of it you want to call it, a shallower domed roof on a structure is reminiscent of a style called Romanesque. And there are some really incredible Romanesque cathedrals, churches, just buildings in general that I really love. And so I was thinking about that with this. So I want to do a domed roof here, but I want to keep the roof. I want to keep the dome of the roof more shallow. Obviously, we are doing this for real on the Infinite Heights server, and so of course it starts. Of course, it starts to rain as it gets dark. What are you gonna do? What you gonna do? So I'm just filling the dome in a little bit. I'm keeping it nice and shallow. Building my way up to the top, and now we are similar. If you saw the last episode when we did the wheat farm, I built the main body of the roof, similarly to how we did here. So, built the main part of the roof, and then I built the smaller section of the roof, and I let that plug into the roof, into the main roof. However, it willed, and then kind of worked around that. So I'm just adding a detail along the ridgeline to add a little interest, so it's not just a big, big brown circle in the middle with like a plus running through it. And then I did a band 2 blocks down around the rim of double stone slabs and a band of just stone blocks and stone stairs to match the crenellations on my castle walls, on the inner wall and the outer wall, to kind of tie it in with that. And I'm just slapping more crenellations up. So this adds a little bit more of an aggressive look to it. Not that it is supposed to be a priory, which, in some ways is similar to a monastery type thing. So there are some type of spiritual people to be believed as inhabiting or occupying this space. So I don't want to make it overly fortress-like, but I like the idea of just if you look at architecture throughout history, however you feel about religion or things like that, which I'm absolutely not going to get into. Architecture, initially, especially when we go back, hundreds and hundreds of years, and the farther back you go, is based on, often the funding from religious pursuits. So I kind of like the idea of making this, as we just finish up a detail here on the outside of it, just to add some interest. Kind of like the idea of this being perhaps one of the original buildings in my kingdom, and then other buildings like the castle or the walls taking design cues from it. So here we are. We're just adding some final details to the outside. Kind of digging around a little bit. I'm going to throw some gravel in there so that we can see that that it's supposed to be there, that it approaches the ground. It's not just kind of plopped into place. And then we're just poking some holes here with some double slabs for just for some added interest, and add some half slabs around to smooth it on out. And here it is. You can see the diagram in the background. We have all of the details added in around the top. We may have to poke some holes in it later, but that's cool. We have this side, which is still a little bare, but that's alright, because we're going to have the main part of the priory, which may also, you may want to call it a monastery, but pretty sweet, right? Nice design. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so what do you guys think? Pretty sweet, right? I think it looks kind of intense, slightly fortressy. I think it's looking pretty sweet, but you may be wondering, okay, like because this is all closed in up here and we just have these colored, stained glass blocks, does it actually work? Well, what I did was I kind of broke away some blocks here. I threw down bonk, 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 kabonk, these two to stop these guys from coming from this direction. So these have spawned since this has been built. So proof that this still works. So you don't have to have big... This is proof of concept that you don't have to have huge square things floating around all over, looking crazy. You know, you can make them look nice. You can put a pretty solid skin on them and make them look cool. Now, there's no way to get inside or up to that level because the inside here... And I may eventually cut some holes in this. By cut some holes, I mean throw some windows in and have some light coming around. There's no way to get in from the outside... as it is now, because remember there's gonna be a huge monastery thing built in the middle here, so we'll be able to enter through that and then walk across into there. So that's not a current pressing issue for us, but let's just hop inside so we can go up there anyway. So these dudes, what's up? I'm just gonna go ahead and free them and allow them to fulfill their true destiny. There's a lot in there. Nice. So you can hear them burning, magmifying. So let's just climb up here. Now I'm going to have an access thing in here, just in case something weird happens and stuff starts spawning out here for who knows what reason, just so I can get in here and work on it. So there will be access in here somehow. It's not going to look like this, though. But let's keep going up to the top. So we finished... after one of the last things we did after we finished these was just add these little details in here, and I think those polish it off really nicely. I really like how those work. If we come in here, we check the ceiling and stuff. We have blocks at the joints, which I think work really well. I like how this is open here, and it makes me want to hang a chandelier from the middle there, but I have a couple more thoughts about this, and I'm gonna wait until I have the other one built to see what they look like when they're both together, because we might add a little something in here. We might add a little something. Who knows? We're going to have to wait and see how it looks with the other one built there. But that is it for this episode. I really hope you guys got something out of this. I hope you had fun watching along and listen to me talk through exactly how I came up with this, what it was based on and that stuff, and why I wanted to do it, because, you know, you just don't need a big cobble thing there. But it's cool to see the glass working. We are clearly getting some dudes spawning and dripping through there, so it does work. So, you know, again, you can skin your stuff with cooler looking stuff just to kind of to hide what's actually in there, to make it fit the theme of what you're trying to build. Better. So, you know, I encourage you to do it if you can, if it bugs you. If it doesn't bug you, leave it, whatever. But that is it, again, for this episode. So next episode, that side, I'm just going to take this and copy it over there. I'm not going to do a time-lapse for that because you already saw me build one of these. So I'm going to try and put it over there. Hopefully Telekinetic Llama will stop by and point out all the spots I messed it up when I was trying to recreate exactly what I did over here. But it shouldn't be too bad because we're going to use the form that we made, the diagram that we made before. So it should be pretty sweet. And then next episode we are going to, with this one built over here, start construction on the massive priory, or monastery, if you want to call it a monastery. Maybe that makes more sense. That's cool. That connects the two beastly towers on the sides. So check out my YouTube channel for other Let's Plays, awesome kinds of games that we enjoy playing. The Craftage series, seeing some more Let's Play Minecraft on the Craftage server. You know, I really do appreciate every single like, comment, view, and sub. Thank you so much for watching, dudes. I really do hope you enjoyed it. TheeRealDuke, I'm out.